الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام ورحمة الله. Alhamdulillah, we give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for bringing us to yet another edition of the Ramadan Tafseer of Wal-Jamah AbuZahra branch on the 7th day of Ramadan, corresponding, that is the year 1440 rather, corresponding with 11th, if I'm not mistaken, 12th. Sure. Okay, today the 12th of May 2019. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept whatever we are going to be discussing as an act of ibadah, and may He make it count for us on the day of judgment and not against us. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, as we all know, we started discussing the ayats, Iman building ayats, verses. And of course, we didn't go outside Surah Al-Mu'minun because indeed, like we mentioned last week, we said that the qualities of a believer, well, has been summarized by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this surah. When the surah was revealed, Al-Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal mentioned in his Musnad that when the surah was revealed, the companions, of course, may Allah be pleased with them, noticed that the Messenger of Allah, in his usual manner of receiving revelation, as reported by Abdullah ibn Abbas in Al-Mustadrak al-Hakim, he said, whenever the revelation was descending, whenever Jibreel alayhi salam was coming to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam to convey the message of Allah to him, he said, أحيانا يسمع صوتا عند مجيء الوحي كصلصلة الجرس. That sometimes whenever Allah sent Jibreel alayhi salam to bring down revelation to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Abdullah ibn Abbas said they used to hear the sound like salsalat al-jars, that is the clank or the clank of the bell, if you like. Then he said, أحيانا يسمع صوتا كدوي النحل. Sometimes they used to hear sounds like the hums of the bees. You know, when you hear bees humming, like, they used to hear such sound. So whenever they hear these two sounds, they of course understood that indeed revelation was coming down. This was the report of Abdullah ibn Abbas in Mustadrak al-Hakim. So Al-Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal said in his Musnad that on this occasion one day, when Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was with the companions, and then suddenly they heard one of the signs of revelation of the Quran. Indeed, after the completion of the revelation, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam began to make some dua. He began to make some dua, asking Allah, from the report of the hadith. He made some dua. After the dua, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam informed the Sahaba, and then he said, indeed, Allah has revealed to me a chapter or laws or set of laws that any believer who complies with them certainly will go to Jannah. This is what the Rasul said. Anyone as a believer who complies and follows this set of laws will definitely go to Jannah. That is why there is another report discussing the virtues of Surah Al-Mu'minun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala having created Jannah. This report mentioned that when Allah created Jannah, Allah asked Jannah to speak. Allah asked Jannah to what? To speak. This is one of the traditions of Allah. When Allah creates something, or whenever He created something, He asked that creature to carry out an action. Just like when He created the pen and He asked the pen to write, and the pen said to Allah, "Oh Allah, what do I write?" And Allah told the pen, "Uktubul kainat ila yawm al-qiyamah." Write everything that will happen from the beginning of the world till the day of judgment. And then the pen wrote everything in Allahul Mahfuz. The same thing, in the same vein, when Allah created Jannah, Allah told Jannah to speak. And Jannah, from the report, said, "Qad aflaha al-mu'minun." Indeed, the believers are successful. So you see, as part of the virtues of this surah, Rasul himself mentioned in that report that whosoever complies to this set of laws, I guarantee him Jannah. And then the Rasul began to read the verses of Surah Al-Mu'minun from 1 to where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِلَّا عَلَى أَزْوَاجِهِمْ no وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَلَى صَلَوَاتِهِمْ يُحَافِظُونَ. Yes, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَلَى صَلَوَاتِهِمْ يُحَافِظُونَ, until that point. And then Allah told us the consequence, the positive consequence, the reward for whoever complies with those set of laws that have been mentioned from verse 1 to verse 10. Alhamdulillah. Last week we treated verse 1, 2, until where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ. So we are starting from there today. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. والذين هم لفروجهم حافظون.
Now, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ. Having read the ayats before this one, where Allah mentioned, just to revise quickly because of those that were not here last week, Allah said the believers indeed are successful. Number 2, Allah began to describe, and then He mentioned their first quality, the first quality of the believers. He said, these are those that when they pray, mashallah, they adopt consciousness of Allah. Outright, they adopt consciousness of Allah. They are so conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah went further to give the second description. He said, they are those who stay away from Allah. And we described what Allah is last week. We said love, according to the definition of the scholars, they said this is something that has no benefit. It has no financial benefit, there's no spiritual benefit at all. You can't get reward for it positively, you cannot also get sins for it. So this is what the scholars have defined as love. And then the third quality of the believer is giving zakat. Giving zakat to the less privileged. And then the next one is where we are going to be starting today. Although somehow we discussed, partially about, or we discussed the verse last week, but today, inshallah, we will continue from where we start, inshallah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ. the number 4 quality of the believer is that they are those who protect their private parts, their private organs from illicit sexual habits. They will not use it anyhow. Then, in the next verse, Allah said, إِلَّا عَلَى أَزْوَاجِهِمْ إِلَّا عَلَى أَزْوَاجِهِمْ أَوْ مَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُهُمْ فَإِنَّهُمْ غَيْرُ مَلُومِينَ. Now, these verses, they are inextricably linked together. They are joined together. However, if you separate them, if we want to separate them, we would conclusively say that the first one, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ, is for the bachelors. Is for the bachelors. Then إِلَّا عَلَى أَزْوَاجِهِمْ أَوْ مَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُهُمْ is for the married men. We can say this from the analytical point of view. It's for the bachelors. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ, those who indeed protect their private parts, their organs from illicit sexual habits. Now, let's get to see what are the methodologies, what are the ways through which one can actually protect the private parts. The bachelors who are here, please listen to me. This is for you, like I mentioned earlier. If you are not married by a bachelor, you have to listen carefully. So for the bachelors, what are those ways that with them or with these ways you protect your private part? You have to adopt as-saddu zari'a. As-saddu zari'a is one of the principles of the fundamentals of Islamic jurisprudence, that is the usul al-fiqh. A methodology that the Muslims adopt in order to prevent them from falling into evil. This is saddu zari'a. Any method applied or deployed to block, to create a blocking, to create a barricade between you and evil is known as saddu zari'a. For instance, we see it as evil to cheat in exam hall. Now, what is the saddu zari'a here? The saddu zari'a, the way of preventing such is to search the students before entrance into the hall. So, such search is referred to as saddu zari'a. You are blocking the evil already. Because if you don't search, there is every likelihood that you'll do what? Exam malpractice. So anything that is adopted to prevent any possible foreseen circumstance related to evil is called saddu zari'a. Now, Islam has given a lot of principles, a lot of issues relating to saddu zari'a which could be adopted by Muslims in a way of blocking what evil is, blocking the possible or the possibility of engaging in illicit sexual habit for the bachelors. Number one, from what they have to adopt is Gaddul Basar. This is the first thing, Gaddul Basar. Gaddul Basar is what? Lowering one's gaze. Lowering what? One's gaze. However, this was mentioned in the Quran, in Surah Al-Mu'minun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said,
قل للمؤمنين يغضوا من أبصارهم ويحفظوا فروجهم ذلك أزكى لهم.
Now, Allah said, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tell the believers, tell them to lower their gaze. يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ, tell them to lower their gaze. وَيَحْفَظُوا فُرُوجَهُمْ, and they should protect their chastity. So, one of the recommended ways of saving oneself for the bachelors is to lower your gaze. Allah spelled it categorically. For the sisters also, it is applicable to them. They should also lower their gaze, of course, from looking at what is haram. When you see, of course, the eyes captures. The eye captures. The eye will capture. When they capture, it is registered into the sensitive areas of the body, the brain especially. And then the body wants to execute. But if the gaze is lowered, it will prevent us from so many things, so many evil, falling into so many evil. So that is the first recommendation. The second recommendation is preventing or creating a barrier between you and the foreign woman. Adamul kalam al-ajnab. Creating a barrier between you and a foreign woman or a foreign man in the case of the sisters. Who is a foreign woman? A foreign woman, in a simple terminology, is your non-mahram. A woman that is not related to you, or a woman that is within the confines of the degrees of prohibited marriage. Such woman, there should be a barrier between you and her. You don't discuss things with them except when it's necessary, except on formal basis. If you are the type that, of course, you adopt that, you find it pleasing to discuss with them unnecessary, then be ready for whatever evil that may surface, that may come out. So Islam sets limits for us not to do that. There was this man during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, by kunya Abu Abdullah. Abu Abdullah one day was sighted by the Messenger of Allah ﷺ in the midst of the ladies kicking it. He was engrossed in discussing with the ladies. The Rasul ﷺ passed by, and then upon return, the Rasul met him there again. When the Rasul first saw him, "Oh Abu Abdullah, what are you doing?" Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then he said, "Ya Rasulullah, I lost my camel. I misplaced my camel, so I'm looking for it." Meanwhile, he was kicking it. He was discussing. He was engrossed in discussion. Upon return, he was still there. The Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Oh Abu Abdullah, you mean you've not seen your camel? Is your camel still running away from you?" Subhanallah. And then the next time the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw him, Rasul sallallahu asked him again, "Oh Abu Abdullah, is your camel still running away from you?" Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then the very next time the Rasul saw him again, Rasul asked him, "Oh Abu Abdullah, is your camel still running away from you?" Abu Abdullah said, "When the Rasul asked me, of course I knew that the Rasul was aware that I was only deceiving myself." Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now, look at the methodology of correction. Brothers and sisters, this is one very important lesson that we should learn from here. Abu Abdullah said, upon this, inquisition, after sequence of inquisition from the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I knew, Rasul knew that I was lying. So I went to the Rasul and confessed to him. And I said, "Ya Rasulullah, I didn't actually lost my camel. I just wanted to have fun with the ladies. I just wanted to, to discuss. I was just engrossed in discussing with the women." And then he took his correction. My brothers and sisters, look at this methodology. It's advisable. From this now, we can learn from it. When you correct somebody, sometimes you could correct somebody through, different approaches that may not have to anger the person you're correcting, the correctee. I hope this is clear. We have to adopt this. So So Abu Abdullah, ever since then, knew that what he did was wrong. And then he abstained. So be a brother or be a sister that does not find it so simple, so easy to always have herself entangled in the discussion with opposite sex, except it is too necessary, except it is too important. So we must prevent this. To the point that the scholars of Islam have mentioned on many occasions that Islam tried as much as it could to create a barrier between opposite sex, to the point that saying salam is not compulsory. It's not compulsory for a woman, a strange woman, to say salam to a brother. So that brothers, when you say salam to your sister and she doesn't respond, do not blame her so much. Or she responded, but inside her, don't take it as an offense. I hope I'm making myself clear. Do not take it as an offense. Yes. It is highly recommended that even salam, except it's necessary, if you're not related, just walk past. Walk past. Go your way and let her go her way. It is reported in Adab al-Muflih, Adab al-Sharia, rather, of Ibn Muflih. He said, there were occasions in the era of the scholars, especially Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. One day he was at home, he was in his house, when a friend of his visited. The wife of the Imam sneezed and said, Alhamdulillah. And then the guest said, Yarhamukallah. Then Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal looked at him and said, and called him a jahil. You are a jahil. You are an ignorant man. I, as a husband, visited my wife's niece that have not said anything, and you are so fast enough to say something. This is to what extent the scholars were jealous. The scholars were protective. They adopted that protective jealousy. How can my wife sneeze? I have not, she said, I have not responded, and you are responding as a guest. Imam Ahmad said, you are a giant. You are an ignorant man. Ibn Muflih brought another report in the same Adab al-Sharia when he mentioned that there was an occasion when a man visited his companion. Of course, he didn't meet him at home. He didn't meet him at home. And then, after saying salam, the wife had to cover up her mouth. Had to look for something, a piece of rag, something like a piece of rag, a piece of cloth, to cover up her mouth in order to respond to the salam. And Ibn Muflih said one of the reasons, or the reason why this woman had to do this, was to prevent her actual voice, the sweetness of her voice, the melody of her voice, from being heard by this strange man. But today you find sisters in the public, shouting, kicking it, laughing, discussing. Why do you think that Allah asked you to pray at home? Why do you think that the Rasul ﷺ said your prayer at home is more rewarding than the one you have done in the masjid? Why? This is all in the attempt or in the bid to create AbuZahra, a platform to curb what? The possibility of fitna. So if taslim by the scholars, or according to the scholars, is not seen as compulsory amongst the opposite genders, then we should understand from here that Islam has attempted, has tried to adopt every possible means to prevent every likely fitna that could emerge between two opposite sex. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ. That's number 2. Number 3. You see, there is one thing, of course, that brings all these things together. It is the mother or the father, or, of course, in our society today, it has given birth to the possibility of free mixing, which Islam attempted or tried to curb or to curtail. And that, of course, my brethren, is the social media. The social what? Media. The social media today is a cancer. Is a cancer in the body of this woman. And the earlier we cut it away, the better we become. Wallahi al-Azim, so many youths, males and females, brothers and sisters today have destroyed themselves on the basis of their engagement on social media. And continuously, this social media is something that is increasing. It keeps reforming from one to the other. In the past, when we were young in those days, what I used to know was to go. Many of us here, you know, to go was the commonest then. Meet a lot of friends, requests here and there, you know, involvement in things that were around. Of course, you know what I'm talking about. Even though I will not go into details. As time goes on, they upgraded from to go, Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram, Badoo, SQ, and what have you. Video chats, audio chats, and all that. Today, my brothers and sisters, wallahi, this, of course, has caused rift. It has caused separation in so many homes, the social media. Because you see, the wife is engrossed in something else. The husband too is engrossed in something else. Compared to when we used to use landlines. Landline came and united the people. But cell phone came and separated the people. Yes, in those days, when your father speaks with a relative using the landline, you see everybody coming together, converging. Oh, dad, is that aunt? Everybody's waiting. Okay, I want to talk. But I have my phone, you have your phone, everyone has his phone. So everybody is independent. So if they want to call, they call through anybody. So landline united us, but cell phones, of course, divided us. That's why today, wallahi, brothers and sisters, there is no point building tall fence. There is no point building what? Or raising tall fence if you have TV and internet in your home. Why do you have to raise tall fence? When actually the TV and the internet in your home is more destructive or are more destructive than whatever you are going to prevent by raising the tall fence. They are the greatest robbers. The TV, the greatest robber. The internet, the greatest robber. They have both robbed us of our values. Your child at home knows better, knows what you do not expect him or her to know. Because he could easily browse the internet, get into sites that are dangerous to his social being, to his well-being, to his spirituality. Sending videos, new videos, pictures with friends and whatnot. So the social media is something that is very, 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 very destructive. And in every Muslim home today, we must be very careful. Educate your child. Let him know the do's and don'ts. Let them know. They have to be aware. Getting Android phones are of benefit, yes. But it's just like the intoxicant where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قُلْ فِيهِمَا إِثْمٌ كَبِيرٌ وَمَنَافِعٌ لِلنَّاسِ وَإِثْمُهُمَا أَكْبَرُ مِنْ نَفْعِهِمَا. Wallahi, the danger in these things are more, far more than the benefits that we get from them. The social media, like I said, caused havoc in so many homes. I was told a story about couples in this city. The man opened another account in another name, sent a request to the wife, and the wife accepted and started wooing the wife. She wooed the wife. And then the wife accepted, subhanAllah, a married woman. The wife accepted his proposal. And then on the account